Old Call of Duty versus new Call of Duty. The great debate in gaming is which one is better. Let's get into it. One side screams nostalgia, and one side screams slide canceling across Verdansk with cat ears on. And what's exactly changed? Is it just different, or has the integrity of COD been truly compromised? Old school COD felt gritty, fast, and tight. Weapons had weight, maps had flow, and that M4 in COD 4, brilliant. Now in recent CODs, you're throwing 47 attachments on a gun just to get smoked by some dude with a riot shield and a grenade. The new games, they feel really bloated and pretty much that they're trying to do too much. Their argument is the game's smoother, better frame rates, and the sound design, legit. Classic COD maps were simple. They didn't try to do too much. They had predictable spawns. It was about outplaying your opponent and just genuinely being better at the game, not trying to find somebody in a 7-tier skyscraper. New maps are absolutely massive with so much verticality, it's hard to keep it on an even keel. It's not always horrible, it's not always bad, but it's just different. It's become less about tight gunfights and those critical moments where you're just better than the other person to positioning and camping. Also, do you guys remember when Search and Destroy was the king of multiplayer? Now it's all battle royale and resurgence squads yelling over Discord, talking about who's the better player. Back in loadouts of old, perks were straightforward. Pick 3 perks, 1 primary, 1 secondary, and 1 that's gonna help you out if those 2 fail. Now we've got tuning systems, 47 attachments on guns. It feels like you're doing your taxes when you play this game. Guns feel cleaner now, sure. There's so much meta chasing that it kind of takes away from the nostalgic and the stuff that we love about Call of Duty. Old COD lobbies, if you guys were around for those, were the absolute GOAT, and they weren't for the faint of heart, no question. Trash talk, rivalries between players and on certain teams, and somehow, for whatever reason, you would get a message from the guy you just quickscoped 20 times asking if he wanted to play with you. Now everybody's muted. There's no forced game chat like there was in days of old. SBMM makes every single lobby that you go into, whether you're playing with friends or by yourself, and it's sweaty as hell. And the vibe, it's kind of corporate at this point. It's missing that ring that makes Call of Duty what it was back in the day. And my final point with old versus new COD is the money aspect. We can't leave it to nothing. In old COD games, you paid for the game, you paid for some map packs here and there, and that was it. New COD, it's battle pass, operator bundles, limited time anime skins, and collaborations with snack brands. Like, what are we doing? You can't just play the game like days of old. You're constantly being upsold in these new COD games, and it can be really frustrating for players that are just coming into the fold of playing Call of Duty. And honestly, it just flat out wears you down, dude. Call of Duty isn't really just a franchise anymore, it's an actual platform at this point. So what's the final verdict? You might be asking yourself, which one is better? Old Call of Duty had grit, soul, and simplicity. New Call of Duty brings customization, insane visuals, and the scaling of the game is just out of proportion these days. But the difference between old and new COD, I think, is what it comes down to is old CODs felt like they were made for players. The new ones, they just care about the engagement metrics and how many people are actually playing their franchise. It's not all terrible, but if you were around for the golden age of COD, you just have to sort of agree that it hit different. So what do you guys think about the final verdict? What's your favorite Call of Duty game and why? Like the vid if you ever got nuked on terminal, or sub if you want more deep dives into games that we love or possibly games that we love to hate. This is Phantom Stilts. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care, guys.